past 2.5, 3 weeks doing divisions. And our division, most of it had remainders. Not all of it, but most of it had remainders. So when we were doing that, say we had, I don't know, some of them were quite easy. 5 into, some people freaked out on the test where before we were doing like 22, 36, 47, and then as soon as you got 5, some people didn't know what to do. Into, and even when you could do the first number, 73. We're doing something small on the test. People were like, "Ooh, I don't know what to do." That's why I said do one number at a time. And then as soon as it was something small and easy, some people freaked out. We started off hard and then went easy. You could do the hard, and then when it got easy, it was like, didn't know how to do it. The steps don't change. First step, divide. One number at a time. Can 5 go into 7?
No.
Yes. Is 7 bigger than 5? If I have 7 pieces of candy, can I give it to 5 people?
Yes.
Yeah. If I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can I go 1 for you, 1 for you, 1 for you, 1 for you, 1 for you? Yes. I can. 5 can go into 7. How many times? Once. 1 times 5 is 5. So I multiply.
2.
Now I subtract. 7 minus 5?
2.
2. There's a number left over. I need to bring it down. Some people, what I saw on the test, most of the grades were fantastic. Lots of A's. Couple B's. The ones that weren't that great were the ones where I saw like they had one number up here and then wrote a whole bunch of gobbledygook down here and just had nothing up here. Every number in the house needs a number on their roof. That's whether it's 0 or 1 through 9. There has to be a number up here. Bring down the 3. 5 has to go into 23 because I'm not finished. I have to have a dividing into every number that's in here. So 5 into 23. Can 5 go into 23?
Yes.
Yes. Now is 5 going to go into 23 evenly?
No.
No. What I know about my 5s, the number in the ones place has to be a 5 or a 0 for it to be even. How many times can 5 go into 23?
4.
4. 4 times 5 is
20.
20. And I'm left with a remainder of 3. So what we're going to be doing now is we're going to put, what was that? That was probably something from my Amsci kid. There's no telling. So now, do you remember, and I've brought this up so many times, one was the importance of making sure every number in the house has a number on the roof, the importance of lining up your numbers. Do you remember me bringing that up? I hope so. And I said there was a reason why it was so important. Why is it so important, Maya?
Because you're gonna have to put decimal in the right spot, and if you don't finish on, because 1 and 14 is different than 14.
Guess what we're doing today? Decimals.
Good.
Because 1 and 4/10 is different from 14. So today we're actually going to do, can you just eat it? Quit licking it. Thank you. So number placement, decimal placement it's important. Do you think that my steps in division change?
No.
No. difference is you're taking a decimal and you're moving it.
And it's just
But that's not a
farther.
division step. So, say I'm doing 5, and I'm dividing it into 7 3/10. The only thing I do different is take this decimal and put it up there. That's the only thing I do different. Then, oh, excuse me, I gotta sneeze. Thank you. Then now I just pretend it's not there. And I still divide like I always did. Can 5 go into 7? Yes. How many times? Once. 1 times 5. Subtract. Bring that down. Can 5 go into 23? Yes. How many times? 4. 4 times 5. 20. Now, the one difference is when we're dealing with decimals, you're really not going to have remainders.
So if you have them, you're not writing them in, or?
There's an extra step that we're really not going to do yet. What you do, you ever notice when you're doing things on your calculator? Say I did this on my calculator. Your numbers get really, really long when you divide numbers on your calculator. So yeah, like if I did this on my calculator, or if you do 3 divided into 10, and you'll get 3 decimal 3. Is the number that long? No. It's just a number. It's really short. There's a reason why. Because when you're doing decimals, you really don't have remainders. We don't do 1 4/10 with a remainder of 3. What we do, remember what's behind here that we really don't see? What? Invisible zeros. So, I mean, we can see our decimal, so we can't say that John's seen a decimal. It's there. We see it. So what's behind here are millions of zeros that we can't see. That's why when you divide numbers on your calculator, you can get really, really long numbers, because it will keep going until it gets no remainder. So what I can do, I'll show you what really happens, and we will learn how to do this. And it's really, if I'm lying, I'm dying. It's really not hard. But again, this is why lining up your numbers is so important. What's behind that 3? A what? A 0. So all I've got to do is make that invisible 0 visible. Yes! Woo! Praise the Lord, Kylie Lavender. Make it. Say it again. Bring down that 0. When you have numbers there, you have to bring them down and divide them. Bring it down. Can 5 go into 30? You said that was a yes or no. Can 5 go into 30?
Yes.
Yeah. No. How many? 6. 6 times 5. 30. Now I have a remainder of 0. That's how, when you divide 3 into 10, you get. So that's why if you ever pull up on a calculator, 10 divided by 3, because you'll constantly have a remainder. So it'll go 3.33333. It'll never end. because 3 goes into 10 3 times. 3 times 3, 9, you get 1. What's behind that 10? The decimal. If you don't see it, 0. Bring it down. 10. 3 goes into 10 3 times. And it repeats. And so this is what's called a repeater. And so then you get 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, and it could. So you get 3.333. There are some of them that just repeat. Oh, and it will go on for infinitely. It'll just never stop. But some of them, it only takes a couple decimals and it'll stop. What? No, this one, I mean, I could do this all day. So I just stopped. I just stopped because I would end up running into that. It'd be messy. Messy. So, today, the ones that we're doing, because we're just starting, the ones that we're doing today, I think today are going to go, no, it looks like today the ones may or may not have remainders. I don't know. But if they do have remainders, we'll practice adding zeros. If they don't have remainders, right, perfect. Yay. We'll work on it. Okay, so I'm going to, so we're going to work on your paper, we're going to do this together. So we have 14, 53, and 2/10. So I want you to copy that onto your paper. 14 into 53 and 2/10. Copy that down. Antoine, did you write it down? That's the very first thing you do. And that's the very, you want to make sure when you do your decimal that you don't go crooked and put it in the wrong space, because that's one thing that I noticed when y'all were like adding and subtracting, you were putting it in really weird places. It needs to go straight up. Because when you were adding and subtracting, you would like carry it over or something. It was really bizarre. So whenever you're doing it, it just goes straight up above. It doesn't move over here above the 5. It doesn't move over here after the 2. It's just straight up. And then you basically ignore it. You don't need it anymore. And this is when I'm saying, again, every number in the house needs a number on the roof. Number placement is super important. Even if it's a 0. So you have to have a number over the 5. Please for me, even if it's a 0. A number over the 3. Because what some people were doing is when they were dividing into 53, I'm going to stop talking, I'm going to show you. Because can 14 go into 5? No, we know that. Can 14 go into 53?
Yes.
Yes. So what they were doing is when they were doing 14 into 53, Pierre, when they were doing 14 into 53, figure out how many times 14 can go into 53. Do that for me real quick. How many times can 14, do your multiplication off to the side, how many times can 14 go into 53? How many? 3. 14 times 3, that's 2. 42? Yeah. Okay. So then, let's see, 4, 6, 56 is too high. Now, one thing that I noticed is that some people, they would put the 3 here. And that's not where you put it. This is saying that 14 can go into 5 3 times. Where you put the number is you're saying that that's what it's going into. This is saying that 14 is going into 5. Is 14 going into 5? No. So that's why what I was saying is every time you're going into one number at a time, can 14 go into 5? No. Put a 0 there. That's keeping you from writing the wrong number in the wrong space. Some of y'all were really super hard-headed, be like, I don't need to put 0 there. I don't know. You got to boss me. I'm not going to do it. And then guess what? You were writing the wrong number in the wrong space. So now when we're getting to decimals, you're going to write the wrong number in the wrong space. You're going to put the 3 here. You're going to put the number for the next part here. And it's going to be all messed up. Your answer's going to be wrong. That is not pretty. So that's why I'm pushing the 0. You don't have to put the 0, the front 0 for your answer because you're not going to see it. But at least while you're doing your division. So 14 can go into 53 3 times. 3 times 14, 42. That's 1. That's 1. Remainder is smaller than your divisor. So we're good. I had people not checking this on the test, and they might have done this and got like 20 or something, and couldn't figure out why their answer was wrong. Your remainder can never be equal or larger. Bring down the 2. 14 into 112. Now this number is supposed to go over the 2 because with the 2 you made 112. So how many times can 14 go into 112? Figure it out using multiplication. How many times can 14 go into 112? How many times, Andrew?
8. Exactly.
So that's 2, that's 3. You are correct, sir. So 8. With the remainder of 0. 3 and 8/10. So if you didn't line up your numbers correctly, this is what would have happened if you hadn't lined up your numbers correctly. Don't write this down. But this is what would have happened. You would have put your decimal up there. If you had put your 3 here and your 8 there, and then you would have had nothing here. So some people would have thought, I need to bring the 2 down again because I don't have anything there. They would have brought the 2 down twice. Or I saw people who would have, in their answer, put their remainder as part of their answer. I saw that. Like, let's see. Because, I mean, I totally saw this. 42, 11, 12, 112 with the 0. And then because they didn't have anything here, they would have brought the 2 down again. And then they would have said, okay, 14 can't go into 2. Because there was nothing over it. You see how number placement messes you up. So then they would have done this and said, oh, remainder 2. 0.2. I've seen it done. Oh, I know. The face you're making, Shamar, is the face I make when I'm grading tests and going, no, I've never taught you that. Your remainder does not become part of your decimal. And now that I've shown you don't do this, someone's going to go, but Miss Strickland, you said, I said don't do that. Number placement is key. When you're dividing, if the answer is no, put a 0. That's why I tell you to do that. Can this go in there? No. Put a 0. Now that I've made 53, it goes over the 3 for 53. That's why I tell you to do it. Do you understand now why I told you to do it?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Not just to hear myself talk. You're really blocking Andrew if he's even looking up. I can't tell. But I mean, I can't see him, which means he can't see me. Thank you. All right, I want you to try 30, 378. I want you to see what happens if you divide that. Can 30 go into 3? Can 30 go into 3?
No. Okay. No.
No. If I have 30 pieces of candy, 3 pieces of candy, can I get those to 30 people?
No.
No. So I'm gonna have some angry people. So no. Can 30 go into 37?
Yes.
Yes. Smart. Why don't you go to that desk right there? That way Andrew can see. And here, you go over there. All right. So can 30 go into 37?
Yes.
Yes. How many times? Once. 1 times 30? 30. And that leaves you with 7. Bring down the 8, you get 78. How many times can 30 go into 78? 2. 2 times 30 is 60. And you are left with 18. And I said, let's try not to have a remainder. Make that decimal that's back there visible. I'm not finished. Gosh, Flossie. Move it up. Make the 0 back there visible. Bring it down. Can 30 go into 118? Yes. How many times? 6 times. 180. So now you have no remainder. So now, if you were writing this as an answer, I wouldn't put that 0 in the front. It's really right now just there as a placeholder, as there's nothing there. So if you saw this on a test or you were writing it down, you would really just write that or just see that. Just for right there, it's just it doesn't go in. You won't see the 0 in the front. I'm just having you put it as a placeholder. So don't flip out if you don't see it on an answer on a test. I'm just making you put it because sometimes you guys are putting numbers there when you're not supposed to. The 1 does not go here. If you put a 1 there, you're telling me that 30 can go into 3. And it can't. I've seen it. I saw it. 30 cannot go into 3. That's why you put a 0 there. Okay. Try 27. Now, I mean, is this difficult at all just because there's a decimal? No. It's if you can divide with decimals. 186 and 3/10. If you end up with a remainder, do what you got to do with the 0. 27. Bless you, goodness. 27. Can it go into 1? Can it go into 1?
No.
27. Can it go into 18?
No.
No. 27. Can it go into 100?
Yes.
Yes. So 27. So let's see. If I'm doing 2 and I'm going to 18, I might try 9, but I'm going to think about 27 as 30. So, excuse me. So if I'm doing 30, I might try 6. So this is 2 with 4, 12 and 16, 162. So I'll try 7. This is 9, this is 4, 189. That's too big. So it goes in 6 times. 162. With 424. Oops, forgot to put my decimal in. Bring down the 3. So with about 30 going into 24. I'm going to try 8. I know that. I'm showing you my thought process. Thank you. 16, 21. 18, 24. Now, one thing I saw a lot of you doing, and it's probably a big habit, is writing out remainder 0. When you're doing decimals, you don't write out the remainders anyway. But when you have remainder 0, you don't write remainder 0. So when you have a remainder of 0, you don't write that. When we're doing decimals, you don't write the remainder. When you're doing decimals, you're trying to get rid of the remainder. So you don't write it anyway. When you're doing decimals, you would be adding zeros, trying to get rid of the remainder. So you wouldn't have it anyway. Okay. 12, 4, and 56 hundredths. Take your decimal, move it straight up, and 12 go into 4.
Go.
Go. Hi, welcome to class. Let's turn around, please. Thank you. Okay, and 12 go into 45.
Yes.
How many times?
3.
3. 3 times 12.
36.
5 cannot subtract 6. Come over here, borrow. This becomes 15. 15 minus 6.
9.
9. Bring down the 6. 12 into 96.
8.
8 times 12.
96.
96. Divided evenly. You do not have to add anything, so it's 3,800. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this.